all you cool cats and kittens, and welcome back to the Sesh. I'm Kendall Ray.
And I'm Janelle, but today we are not Kendall Ray and Janelle. Today we are Kendall Baskin.
Absolutely.
And her tagger. And we have some other fellas here joining us.
Yes, that's right. We have Josh Exotic.
That's right.
Howdy, y'all.
You might know him from Mile Higher and Lights Out. And then we also have Janelle's man,
John the Lion.
Hello.
He's just John the Lion.
Yes.
But yes, he's also been on Mile Higher three times,
I think.
A few times.
I think
three times?
At least three.
Yeah, but you've been
We'll say that.
You've been on the show a few times, and we wanted to bring you on the sesh. We figured it was time for you boys to be joining us for our Halloween episode. Josh, how you feeling?
Joel. That's his brother.
I know. How are you feeling there?
I don't know. My name Joel.
I meant to say Joe Exotic, but it came out as Joel.
Oh, I see.
Joe Exotic.
What'd you ask me again?
How are you feeling? How's it going being out of jail?
Oh, I'm feeling great. I can't wait to carve this pumpkin right now.
Yes, that is right, folks. Last week we mentioned that if Josh allowed us, we would be carving pumpkins. And just by the skin of our teeth, we have gotten him to agree to let us do pumpkins. But at first we had 4. We literally hollowed out all 4. But Josh was like, no, that's too many for the table. So now we're down to 2. And we're going to be having a little contest tonight.
Yeah.
Where you guys are going to carve a pumpkin and Josh and I are going to carve a pumpkin. And the best couple wins.
That's right. And I'm going to try and put a poll up on YouTube. I'm pretty sure you can still do that. So go ahead and vote on that.
On like the community tab?
No, I think it's on your actual video.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, in
the little like sidebar thing. Yeah, there's like a poll, I'm pretty sure. So make sure you guys vote, okay? Let us know who won.
Also, you guys might be wondering if all 4 of us are up here, who is doing cameras? Yes. Well, we have a new cam moderator here on the sesh. Her name is Sydney. Yay. Hi, Sid. She doesn't have a microphone, so she's just going to say hi. We put some cat ears on her for Halloween.
Yes.
But she's our college friend who just moved back here from North Carolina, which we're so happy about. She's back in Colorado, so she's going to be here for every episode.
Yeah, and she'll join in from time to time too when she has a mic and everything. And yeah, she's awesome. So give her a nice warm welcome, everybody. But yeah, we're really excited to get started on this. We're going to be doing a handful of pumpkin and Halloween, type of party games, I guess you could say.
Party games, more like stories.
More like spooky stories. And you guys also submitted a lot of your own stories last week, so we have some of those to read as well. Very excited about that.
Yeah, you guys sent in a lot of them. And then also as a reminder, you can submit your pumpkins, your dog costumes, and your
human costumes.
We will be reviewing those, the podcast that goes up the week after Halloween, or the day after Halloween, I believe it goes up.
Exactly. So,
So you still have time to submit those. All you have to do is use hashtag SpookySesh. For more information, just see the description box.
Exactly.
But are you ready to jump in? We have a few scary stories. I have some news stories, of real things that have happened.
That's actually going to be great. I'm excited to hear about them. Yeah, we also brought some, you guys really liked the little short stories that we told last week, so we decided to go ahead and do that again. And so we each have a little bit of a spooky story to bring to the table.
Yeah, We're Josh, you have a few, right?
I got a few.
Josh Exotic, Joe Exotic.
I do have a few good ones too.
But of course, before we start, we have our spicy topics.
Spicy.
Yes. Starting off with Jeffrey Toobin, who, if you don't know who he is, he's a CNN chief legal analyst and reporter for The New Yorker. And he's actually been suspended this past Monday for exposing himself during a Zoom conference. And yes, boys, go ahead and get started carving. The carving has begun. You guys will have to wait and see what they carve till the end. So stay tuned.
Out of this world, I know that.
This world, I know that. But yeah, so he's pretty well respected in the news reporting world, in media, really,
in journalism.
So like we said, this happened last week. They were actually on a Zoom call, and it was with employees of the magazine and WNYC radio. So like we said, he works for the New Yorker magazine as well. And this was kind of for an election simulation is what they were doing. So according to 2 people familiar with the call, Toobin switched to a second call while the groups returned from their breakout room. So if you're not familiar with Zoom, you have your regular Zoom meeting, but then you can also go into these things called breakout rooms, where it's like miniature groups essentially, where it's like 2 or 3 people on the Zoom call. Okay. So they were on a breakout room, and I guess they had he had come back, and he actually was touching himself. And then he left the call. So after that, he came back in and seemed like he was unaware of, what had happened or what people had seen. He acted like nothing had happened. And it's kind of unclear how many people saw, but it was very clear that he was, fondling himself. I can't really say the word, but
doing the diddle.
He's doing the diddle.
Sick. That is super, super awkward. And it's interesting. A lot of people are saying that maybe it's possible he did this on purpose as some type of weird power move.
Yeah, maybe. What the hell though? Why would you ruin yourself over that?
I don't know. Why would Harvey Weinstein just whip his ween out whenever he fucking pleased back in the day?
We definitely use, these sort of programs at work to communicate and video conference stuff every day.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You have to accept the call or start the call yourself. You can't, it's not just.
That's a very good point. You don't it's very hard to be like, oh no, I whoopsie daisy was on the call. I didn't know. It's it's pretty obvious when you're on
But sometimes there are break off calls from the main call. So I could see maybe if you had another one of your other calls open, you wouldn't know, but it's crazy.
So maybe he
so wild.
pulled up some adult content on the side or didn't realize. He was like, I'm sorry I didn't mute it.
Well, right.
He's like, I didn't mute it.
Yeah, he came out and he apologized.
Oh, so people must have heard.
And he said he was sorry to his wife and his friends and his coworkers. And then he also asked for time off. Yeah. CNN was like, sure, buddy, take some time off.
Yeah, I think they might suspend him if he didn't already ask for the time, but
yeah, probably. That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure it was a mistake, and that's so humiliating.
Oh, yeah, that's really humiliating.
I can't imagine.
Why were you doing that during a Zoom call? I'm still confused about that. Just wait till you're off the Zoom call.
Yeah, something's a little
you got to keep your pants on during the Zoom call, even at home, guys. It should be a rule. And the fact that we have to say it.
I believe this has happened a few times this year. I've heard multiple stories of people exposing things on Zoom calls. I heard
that a student was on, in class, and she thought that the camera was off and that she was on mute, and she went to the bathroom, but, brought her computer to, stay in the lecture and was, on the toilet, and the camera was not off. And everyone was like, yo. That is so embarrassing. Oh my gosh, that'd be the worst thing ever.
I can't even imagine so bad. That. Or I've heard of a lot of people that forgot they weren't wearing pants to work, because they just don't need to. Right. So they're just wearing a top and then they stand up to get coffee or something and they forget and then their junk's just hanging out.
Awkward.
Yeah, a little awkward.
That's the new life we're living through.
Well, that is definitely for sure. All right, what else have we got in spicy news this week?
So this one, you're a bit more familiar with the Ace family than I am. Austin McBroom. A bit.
Don't make it sound like I'm their fan.
No, you're not a fan. But
I've seen but a few vlogs.
Right, but you were the one that found the good tea on this. Not that it's very hard to find these days. It's kind of all over YouTube. But
yeah. I have a lot of opinions on family vlogging in general. Right. And this is a topic I want to go back to. And since before we even started this show, I've said I want to do an episode on family vlogging and just discuss it as a whole because I think it's a very interesting topic, honestly.
Yeah.
And this really proves why this whole Ace family thing. So if you don't know who the Ace family are, they are a very, very wealthy, very famous vlog family.
19 million subscribers.
19 million. Oh my gosh, that is a lot. And that's people watching your life. Their whole content is their life pretty much, I believe, every day.
Yeah.
I don't know if they take time off or how that works, but
they're always on, to some degree, and they have 3 kids, and they're all under the age of 5. There's a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 3-month-old. So very young kids, and they have been on cameras their whole life, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're pretty conditioned.
Like you said, vlogging is, I feel a whole different thing than just putting out YouTube videos, because especially everyday vlogging, because it's almost when do you turn off the acting? Especially if you're a kid, I feel you don't know really how to do that.
Because a lot of these families, and this is the type of vloggers I really don't like, they really put on an act. And you can just tell that it's a total show. It's, so stagey. Yeah. I follow a few vlog families that are very real, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, totally.
But some of these families are just so fake, and they get their kids to get in on the act. And this is a great example. We have a clip of what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Ace family! Welcome back to our channel, guys.
What's going on? Everybody. Ooh, look at my hair.
No.
Good thing I don't have to. No, I'm gonna say it. Good thing I have to be on camera today.
Okay.
God.
Okay.
My hair looks fucked up. I would not film like this. So just go.
Okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Hey, Assembly! Welcome back to our channel, guys.
What's going on? Ooh, look at my hair. Good thing I'm not gonna be on camera today. All right, baby.
So there you go.
So just that little clip.
Yeah, just that. But that was supposed to be edited out, and that was the first clip in their vlog. And I believe they have an editor. I'm sure they do.
Damn, that
Someone
person's
left it in.
fired.
Yikes.
Well, a lot of people are saying that maybe Catherine purposely left it in, which that's quite a conspiracy.
Yeah,
I don't know
say,
if that's
wow,
true.
conspiracy.
But that's the big word on the streets of YouTube. Is
Why would she do that? To just, like, expose
to expose him? Yeah. Well, the whole thing with Austin and Catherine is a lot of people think they have a completely staged relationship. There's rumors that he's cheats on her all the time, and so it kind of goes back a while. And so some people think that she's like crying out for help, but I mean, most likely it was just an editing mistake. But if anything, it definitely shows you how fake these people are to redo that, to get so mad at her in an instant and cuss at her in front of your kid.
Yeah, people are really upset about how, especially in front of the kid.
Yeah.
Kids, I should say. Yeah.
And then to just be able to jump right back into what's going on. Like, it's just kind of...
Yeah, no, I agree. It's really, and I think that if you watch the clip and there's like the older girl in it who's standing on the bathtub, if you watch her, she's literally like out of character, and then they're like, okay, ready? And then she's like, and then as soon as they're like, what? She's like, what? Like, she's so into character,
Yep.
and she's like 4 years old.
She's already like
shit.
working. That's her job.
Yeah. And but she knows she like has to act for her family. It's just weird. And I'm wondering if, I'm not saying like families cuss in front of their kids. Like,
Yeah.
my parents cussed in front of me when I was young and when I like scarred forever. No, like I think they're going to be okay
Yeah.
from that. But like the idea of, it's just so
But it
fake.
seemed very
and
normal to
It
her.
seemed very normal.
I
right.
will say, when my parents did cuss around me as a kid, I normally was like, they're mad. Or if something really bad had happened, not just like my hair looks bad, cut the camera.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems a little like she's a little
It's
too
still
used to that behavior.
It's like not real. It's like not authentic. It's so staged. I think that's what's so scary about it.
And her being able to just jump right back into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Completely unfazed by seeing that.
She tweeted and she was like, I hope you guys, she being Catherine, the wife, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Super chill vibes, something different, because it was like a day in the life of Catherine.
Yeah.
She said, and yes, Austin and I get frustrated with each other sometimes. It's called marriage. I wish people would stop expecting people to have a, quote, perfect life. It's just not realistic. Love you, babe. And then he goes, no relationship is perfect, but the love Catherine and I have for each other makes up for the small imperfections.
And at the same time, I do
Sounds
agree
so
with them.
Yeah, I agree with.
Like, I get it's a little scripted, but it's true though.
Yeah,
you can't really judge someone's relationship, and we don't know what's going on, so I don't want to speculate too much. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting too, because recently we were getting a bunch of comments on Mile Higher saying that it seemed like Josh and I were fighting.
Because we were.
We weren't.
I hate you, Carol.
We literally can't remember what we were fighting about, but there were multiple comments on the last couple episodes being like, "Oh, they're disagreeing a lot. They're arguing.
They can disagree, you guys.
We've been married for 10 years. Okay,
been
no
married-
marriage is perfect.
You've been married
People
for 10
argue.
years?
Oh, I'm sorry. We have not been married for 10 years. We have been together for 10 years. Okay, and it's been a long 10 years.
Yeah,
but we are very
totally.
in love. We just go into
Absolutely.
like
I love you.
podcast mode. We go into the host mode, and sometimes we
There's a work mode to this life. There is.
Yeah.
To some extent.
And that's the problem though, is like if you're doing this and it's your vlogs, like you and I come in the studio, we work, we do our show, and then we go back in the house and it's just our normal life. But when your job is your entire day,
Right.
every single
Exactly.
day, your relationship is a show for your
Exactly.
job, none of our work relies on our relationship and our,
No.
like
it's
we don't ever
completely
put on an
separate.
act because we don't need to.
Right.
That's why we don't. And you guys see it.
That's
So,
correct.
I mean, I do understand that people do fight.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know. I want to know what everyone thinks about this. Let us know
There's
in
like
the comments below.
children like vlogging, or families vlogging
Yeah.
in general with kids being in it. Like, is she gonna get bullied in school because of that?
There's a lot of, is she gonna this? Is she gonna that? I mean,
course.
I have so many questions about kids that are
Yeah.
going through being on camera so often when they're young. I think it's kind of crazy. There's a lot I have to say on this topic. I have a lot of thoughts here. So let us know if you guys want to see that by giving a thumbs up on this video.
Absolutely.
But that's it for our spicy topics this week. But before we get into some more Halloween stories, we have a word from our sponsor today, which is
Magic Spoon.
Magic Spoon. We are
Yes.
so excited about this.
You guys, Magic Spoon is so bomb if you haven't had it. Okay, so back in my childhood, sugar cereal was literally my favorite thing in the entire world. Like, I was obsessed with it. And to this day, I'm pretty much addicted to sugar, not gonna lie. Although I try and not eat just bowls and bowls of sugar cereal. However, with this, folks, Magic Spoon, you can do that. Because this cereal is 0 grams of sugar, among other things. But it is so delicious. Absolutely delicious. 0 grams of sugar, 11 grams of protein, and only 3 net carbs in each serving.
Yes.
Which is really good.
Yes, it is high protein, keto friendly, gluten free, grain free, soy free, wheat free, naturally flavored, and totally delicious.
Yeah. And they kind of call it like childlike cereal for grown-ups, which I totally agree, because this stuff is so good. It really does taste like sugar cereal. They have 4 different flavors that we have tasted so far, which is cocoa, fruity, frosted, and blueberry.
And this stuff really is magic. I mean, how is it no sugar, barely any carbs, gluten free?
Yeah.
What's it sweetened
What
with?
the hell?
It's sweetened with a rare sugar found in raisins, figs, and maple syrup.
It's really good.
It's so good. And also monk fruit, which is a sweetener as well. And it is so bomb, you guys. The fruity one is definitely my favorite. I love it. Just gives me like nostalgia for sure. Brings me back to my childhood.
I think I like the fruity one the best too. What about you?
I like the blueberries. Pretty good too.
Yeah,
the
blueberry
blueberry's really
is so bomb. So if you want to check it out, go to magicspoon.com/sesh to grab a variety pack and try it today. And be sure to use our promo code SESH, that's SESH, at checkout to get free shipping. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Again, that's magicspoon.com/sesh and use code SESH for free shipping. And we thank Magic Spoon for sponsoring the podcast.
All right, guys, how's the pumpkin carving going so far?
It's going
making-
very well.
Going good?
Yeah, I'm making very good progress. It's
I'm a
gonna
little
win.
nervous about Josh's technique here, guys.
Don't worry
Not
What do we
gonna
look
lie.
like, team?
I'm heavily skilled
really
with a
good.
knife.
I'm
Yours is
impressed
good?
by ours. You're heavily skilled with a knife, Joe?
Listen,
That's right.
as much as I want to believe in my husband, my money's kind of on Josh. I mean, John. Sorry, so many J's here.
Sorry,
Too many
John.
Yeah, it's
damn
on Josh.
J's.
But that is because he is just really good. Like, his handwriting is unreal. He's very skilled when it
Yeah.
comes to crafts.
Yeah, you're very crafty. You're way craftier than all of us. You made all my like sorority crafts back in the day for my little.
Yeah.
Very methodical.
Pretty impressive.
You are
Meticulous.
You are very meticulous.
You do a good job. So we'll see. Josh's hack job over here is coming together, though.
Too
I'm proud of you,
impatient
babe.
for this shit.
Proud of you, babe.
This takes too long.
Okay.
I want a laser like burn into it.
Damn, that'd be
cool.
That'd
sick.
be cool.
That would be
That's the future right there.
Yeah, or just
Laser
get a
pumpkin
blowtorch
carving.
and
That's
try to,
so
like,
safe too and kid friendly. What a good idea.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely a good idea for kids.
Speaking
You
of
download the
safe
image.
and kid friendly.
That'd be sweet.
Safe and kid friendly.
Yeah, safe and kid friendly. Janelle and I said last week that Halloween was pretty much not happening because of COVID, but it sounds like that is not the case at all. You guys left us a lot of comments saying that you are still doing trick-or-treating. And then I went to a family barbecue thing. We had a social distancing party outside. It was really nice. But I was talking to one of Josh's aunts, and she was telling me how they're still going to do trick-or-treating in their neighborhood. They're just going to put these big bowls of candy outside, which makes sense. I mean, people would do this if they go to parties and stuff, but then some kid, always
Takes
comes
them
in.
all.
Yeah. But I guess they're just going to kind of watch it. Like, you know, people will be home.
Yeah.
But that way, no one's going up to the doors and having the human interaction. And then if it is empty, you can run out and just empty it right out of the bag.
Right. So,
I
how
guess
does
it
that
is
help with a
happening.
bunch of grimy kids digging their hands into piles of candy?
I was thinking the same thing. I mean, that's why I thought it just wouldn't. I didn't even think it was up for debate this year. I kind of thought it was just not happening because how do you make absolutely sure? But trick or treating in general is kind of always slightly possibly dangerous, in my opinion. Like, it kind of low key freaks me out. I'm going to be one of those helicopter parents who's like checking each piece because I get nervous. Yeah, you never know. You never know.
Yeah,
I have read too many true crime stories.
that's
So,
true.
But
Speaking of true crime stories, we want to talk about our, personal stories of Halloween growing up and stuff. So we kind of brought some stories to the table that are either a little spooky or funny.
yours is kind of scary.
Yeah, it
kind of
is.
freaks me
It's
out.
kind of weird. So I was in 7th grade, and me and my friends, it was like one of the first years we really got to go out like by ourselves without our parents, and we were in like a big group. And I was dressed, I don't even really know what I was. I was just like a hippie, I'm pretty sure, or something. I had like a tie-dye wig on though, and was wearing like a bunch of tie-dye, and we just went out and we were in this neighborhood that wasn't my neighborhood, so I wasn't really familiar with it, but we were trick-or-treating as usual. But then pretty much every time we would we would go to a few houses, and then 5 minutes later or so, this girl would kind of pop up out of nowhere. And she wasn't part of our group, and she wasn't with anyone else, and she wasn't wearing a costume, and she looked young. She looked like she was like maybe 13 or something, like 12 or 13. And she would just like pop up every single time. Like we would go to a few houses, or we would like turn a corner in a street, and she would like be there on the other side, like kind of looking at us. And we were like, what the hell? And so finally we like walked up to her and we were like, what are you, like, what's going on? And she just literally wouldn't say anything. Was just sitting there like with this weird, like creepy little like soft smile on her face, and was just like kind of staring at us. And we were like, is this real? Like, what's going on? And so, I mean, that's kind of all it was, but it freaked me out because it happened for like a good hour. And then we would like walk away and just be like, okay, whatever. And we'd walk away, and then she would kind of like walk in the opposite direction of us and like, walk away and then be like, okay. And so we would go trick-or-treating a few more houses. And then like 5 minutes later, we would be like, walking on the street, and all of a sudden she'd like be on the other side on the sidewalk, just like standing there.
Dude.
What color eyes? I gotta know.
She was.
Are you thinking
like,
black-eyed child?
Absolutely.
How old?
She had
100%.
very dark eyes.
You couldn't see the actual pupils?
It was a
Or the
long time
irises?
ago, and I for some reason didn't like take it that seriously. But she had dark eyes, and like she had long dark brown hair, but she was just wearing normal ass clothes.
Did she speak to you?
No, she didn't say a thing. Absolutely nothing.
Was she
old
carrying a
was she?
candy bag?
Probably like 30. No, she wasn't. She was literally like, and my
So she was like your age.
She was like our age. At least she looked our age. But I couldn't really tell if it was like just a shorter like woman, if it was really like a teenager. But she was definitely like our height, and wasn't wearing a costume, didn't say anything to us, like wouldn't like, it was just like standing there. It wasn't like threatening, and I wasn't scared, and like I don't know, I kind of like just brushed it off. It never really like occurred to me after that it was
That
weird.
is so creepy.
Mm-hmm.
That would have really
creepy.
stood out to me if I were your age and that happened.
Yeah,
to
I
me.
don't know. I think we kind of like were laughing, like me and my friends like didn't like take it that I don't know, we were just kind of like messing with her at the end of the day, because we were like, why are you
She
following
was
us?
messing with you. Yeah. A ghost.
I don't know.
Black-eyed child.
Maybe
I'm
it
telling
was
you.
Black-eyed
like-
children.
Yeah.
Very possible.
I don't
A
know
lot of
anything
people
about
say.
that. I don't know anything about them. Like,
Really?
is that typical?
They just show up, and then if
Yeah.
you look into their eyes, they like make your nose bleed, and
Oh,
sometimes you die.
oh,
Right?
Usually they ask you something. Though.
Josh is the expert.
Usually they'll ask you a question like, can I use your phone, or I need to go to the bathroom. They want to come inside wherever you're going, or they're like,
look into your
or they're
eyes.
like, come with me,
Yeah.
or take me with you, or something.
no,
like that.
she wanted nothing like to fall, because we were like, I remember I have this very specific image in my head of like being fairly close, like with like this distance between us, and being like, where are your friends? Like, what are you doing? Why are you following us? You weirdo. Like,
And
we
she
were
was
like
just,
kind of
like,
like laughing.
laughing?
No, she wasn't laughing. She literally was just sitting there like
That is creepy.
just literally would not stop like giving this soft smile.
That's creepy.
Yeah, it is
That's really
creepy.
weird.
You have a scary story too on Halloween.
Yeah, yours is
Yeah,
way
kind of
creepier.
similar, but
No, yours is really creepy.
well, it was so my sister and I had bedrooms at the end of the hallway, and we were both, it was like late Halloween night, after you come home, dump out all your candy and stuff like that, and then get settled into bed. It's, I don't
Yeah.
know, fairly late for a kid.
Yeah. How old were you?
11 or so. Trying to remember. I was pretty young. I was in elementary school for sure. I think my sister was in maybe like 6th grade or so. So I guess I would have been 3rd. But yeah, we were both kind of going to bed, and it was, my parents shut off all the lights for the night and stuff like that. And we used to sleep with our bedroom doors open, us kids. So later that night, it was, I shouldn't say later, but like not far after that, we were about to like go to sleep. I was like pretty much asleep. And then my sister was like, whoa, did you see that or hear that? And I definitely heard something, because I woke up. I wasn't like fully asleep, but I was kind of, dozing off, and totally heard footsteps down the stairs then. So it was like something went down the hallway and down the stairs.
Did you see it?
I didn't, but my sister did. Supposedly,
my
she said she saw, a figure, and I kind of saw, it was like something like I like sat up fast, and what I did, I had a bunk bed, so I kind of had like a good view out, and it looked right out the door. So I sat up and kind of heard footsteps, and I couldn't really like, it It almost looked like a shadow, but it was hard to say. But it woke my parents up. So my dad came out thinking.
I just got chills. It woke your parents up?
It woke my parents up.
Whoa, I did not know that.
That's freaky.
And so my dad came out thinking it was one of us, and he was like upset. He was
Who's
like, go to
running?
sleep. Yeah, he was like running. And we were like, no, we were like terrified. My sister was like shaking in the room next to us. And
Wow, that's scary.
yeah, on Halloween night, it was odd. I don't know what it was. And my dad, you know, tried to explain to my dad it wasn't us or anything.
You're like, I swear to God.
But yeah,
That's so
it was
scary.
pretty crazy. We had him like search the house,
That
and then we
is
still were
scary.
like, you know, uneasy about sleeping that night for sure.
Shit. Yeah, I would have been really freaked out as a kid.
Yeah.
I think I never saw anything like that because I don't think I would have slept at all ever.
Did it ever happen again though, or anything similar like that unexplained?
Not that necessarily, but one time, so all of our closet doors were glass.
They're mirrored.
So it's like mirrored.
Yeah.
So one time I was sleeping on the same bunk bed on the top bunk, and I like woke up, and the way you sit up to it, you're kind of facing the door as I was speaking in the hallway, but like right on the right hand side is like those big glass mirrors, and it's like pretty much the wall. It's like the whole wall, and then like your doorway. So I like sat up and like saw a ghost coming back at me. Or like
Ghost. Oh wow. It was like an apparition.
a ghost like figure, I should say. There was a face in the mirror.
Was
which
it
you
like
could make out a
black?
face.
Like it was just dark or?
No. You could make out a face.
Interesting.
Yeah, kind of. But it was like there was a glow to it for sure. And I was pretty young, so I wasn't like really into ghosts or anything at that time. And that was actually before this Halloween instance happened where we heard the noise.
Interesting.
But I totally sat up and saw something around the reflection of the
Did it
mirror.
scare the shit out of
Oh yeah, in the middle of the night. Yeah, scared the shit out of me. So
yeah.
I immediately just, you know, as a kid, you flop back down and pull the covers up, and you're just like,
And you weren't like
Yeah.
experiencing sleep paralysis or anything like that. That's why I said,
No.
was it a dark figure? Because
No.
a lot of people see those sleep paralysis.
no, it was definitely like there was
demons.
definitely like a face. It was like an older gentleman.
Oh, that's so
face in the
scary.
mirror.
I don't like
Right
that.
You
on.
should look to see who lived in your house before you. Because your house is like not super old, but like
Maybe old
Fairly,
enough.
yeah.
fairly old.
Well, yeah, and if
60s or
you guys
so.
probably don't
Yeah.
know John that well you don't know John that well, but he's a very honest Abe.
Yeah,
he wouldn't
he's-
just make up.
He's
a
not
story.
dramatic at all. He does not tell that kind of a lie.
So yeah, I mean
Yeah.
a few weird instances, but they never seem to like align or connect.
There's never
but-
patterns or
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
like that, or like doors knocking, or did you hear like doors shutting on their own?
No, luckily not. That would have been as a
Luckily
kid. That would have been
Okay.
that would have set me over the edge. I'm sure.
Over the edge. John loses it.
Is it a possibility a rat ran down your hallway, or something ran your dog?
No,
ran?
it was like heavy footsteps down the stairs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that really bothers me. I hate
Could
that a
somebody
lot.
have broken in and maybe you guys
Yes.
all heard it and they ran out?
Potentially, yes.
Oh my god, I hope
Wow.
not.
It's
Jeez.
possible things like
Yeah.
that happen where people break into houses and they don't do anything and they just go
They just
right
chicken
through it
out?
and go
Sure.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
That's
definitely
possible.
like kids' feet or like, you know, child. It wasn't like a 250-pound man like down the stairs. So.
Okay.
Oh my god, what the hell,
Interesting.
dude?
This
So,
is
I
interesting.
know.
What about you, Josh? Do you have a Halloween story for us?
No, because I grew up not really celebrating Halloween for many years. My Halloween was, all right, guys, what do you guys want to be? And I always wanted to be like the Grim Reaper or
Scary knowing you,
something
yeah.
scary, you know, Scream. Every kid wanted to be Scream.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I wanted to be the scary guy because I enjoyed scaring people. And I still do. So.
He does.
No, but yeah. So, but the problem was when I went to my parents and said, "Hey, I want to be Scream. I want to be a Reaper." They said, "Sorry, Josh. We're going to either trunk or treat or the carnival." Which at
Too bad.
That sounds kinda lit.
At first I was like, carnival sounds amazing. That sounds like a blast. I was like, there's gonna be rides, clowns, all that kind of stuff. It was not. It was, you know, and this is just my personal experience. You know, nothing against churches. I like that churches do this. Honestly, they host little carnivals at their churches, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's just not for everybody. If you're looking for the spook and the scare,
Josh is looking for the scare.
I'm looking for, you know, Leatherface to hop out with a chainsaw and chase me for half a mile. That's what I'm looking for.
Oh, my parents took me to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine too.
I did that later too
Yep.
as a teenager, but as a kid, because we're talking about kind of younger kid stories.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I went to the carnival at the church. You know, it was like a lot of, the cakes on the chairs. You know that thing where, what's that game
on a
called?
chair.
Cake on a chair.
Musical
You mean
chairs?
musical chairs?
Musical chairs.
But there's no cake in that.
No, but the prize was a cake.
Oh, there is a cake in it? Sydney is saying, yes, there is cake. Oh, a cakewalk.
Cakewalk.
thank
That's
you,
what it
Sydney.
is. Yes.
So you sit on the cake?
Musical chairs.
No, you don't sit on the
Cakewalk.
cake.
Thank you, Sydney. See?
Your prize is, or
She's
your
like,
like
"You idiots."
prize to win is like a cake.
Oh.
There's like cakes, I should say.
That's so weird. Wait, I kind of want to do
You've
that.
never seen that before?
never done a cake.
At like a
I want to
school
go on a
event?
cakewalk.
You're saying you missed out? We missed out on the cake.
Yeah, what the hell? I'm gonna cakewalk.
was lit.
Take me.
I never won, but that was a problem.
Well,
I never won.
so you don't have anything interesting that happened ever
Well,
at
no.
these experiences?
Oh, out of these experiences? Well, so like our costumes were nothing scary. Like one year, I think it was like a gorilla or something. Like
I was never
cute.
scared.
I had which was fun. I was, the mask and everything. But then like I brought a knife with me to the church.
What the fuck?
That
What?
didn't work.
Oh my God.
No, you
fake
didn't.
knife. One of those little bloody knives.
And they were like, I was like, oh,
They're like,
Josh,
welcome, Josh.
you did what?
It's Halloween. We understand.
One year, my mom dressed me up as a witch, and it was quite a scary costume. Like it had, a creepy nose and everything. And I chickened out the day of and was too scared to wear my own costume. So
Because it was scary.
yeah, I was Jasmine instead. I borrowed a costume from a friend.
Oh my
and my
gosh.
mom had worked on this so hard. I felt really bad. But
That's funny.
what was your favorite costume?
My favorite.
You were a cute clown.
costume.
Remember when you were a clown? Oh my god, it was so cute.
really. It was a long time ago. I don't know what my favorite costume was. I was a cow a lot. See, Halloween's never been a huge deal to me. Like some
Yeah.
people go full out on
I love
Halloween.
it.
Like I was just like, what am I gonna be?
too.
I don't know.
Oh, it'll be a
you
big
love
thing in
it,
our
John.
house when I have kids.
Yeah.
Like I will go back into my ways.
Yeah,
of my
John
childhood.
Yeah,
says
me
that's
too.
his favorite. Yeah, well, good for you
Yeah,
because
Halloween's
I don't
been
want
one of my favorite holidays.
Yeah, you love
know.
Halloween. I just never got into it that much, to be honest with you. Like I don't like
I love
scary
it. I
things.
live for
I mean,
it.
the experience is completely different when you're younger, I feel like. And
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
All right. So this one time when I was a kid, I got to trick or treat by myself for the first time, which that was like a big deal to be able to go by yourself. And it was actually only a couple of houses that I was allowed to do. Me and my friend had trick or treated with our parents that whole night. And then at the end of the night, they were like, okay, you guys can go back out and just hit the 6 houses down the street, but you can't go too far. And we were only allowed to be out for 20 minutes or something. So we went down the street and there was this, I knew pretty much everyone in my neighborhood, but there was this one house that I didn't know who the people were. And they had caution tape all over their porch, but I thought that was Halloween decorations, which I recently saw caution tape in a Halloween store, like Spirit or something. And I was like,
yeah,
see,
you see it all the
it
time.
is a Halloween
Oh,
decoration.
absolutely,
So they
of course.
should have made it more clear. But they had all their lights off on their porch and they had these big, caution, don't walk on this or whatever. And me and my friend were like, oh, it's fine. It's just spooky. It's haunted. So we went up on the porch anyway. And it turns out that this guy had just refinished his whole porch. So it was wet cement. And we stepped right into it. We didn't even notice either. So we rang the doorbell and he opens the door and he's like, what are you doing? And we were like, trick or treat. And we thought it was all an act. Like he was just being at a haunted house. He was being a scary guy. So we kept going. We were like, trick or treat. And he was yelling at us. And we were like, trick or treat. I think we said it 2 or 3 times. And then he started getting up like he was going to chase us. And as soon as he started coming towards us, we both just ran. I have never ran so fast. And then I'll never forget looking back and I had my little Halloween bucket flailing behind me. And I was just sorry. And he looked so mad. And I was so worried he was going to call our parents and tell them, or I never heard from him after that, but I wonder if he had to redo the porch.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or if he just
probably.
left it. It was these kids, these
Oh
dumb
my gosh,
kids.
that's so funny.
Yeah, I
What
was
crazy
terrified.
timing. That's the most perfect timing ever.
I know. Well, really dumb timing. I mean, who gets their porch done when you
Right.
live in a neighborhood with a bunch of kids on Halloween?
With his caution tape.
I know.
He should have put out a sign that was
Wet cement,
closed house
don't
went
step.
Yeah, don't because caution tape is such a it's a Halloween thing.
And I was trying to show off for my friend because I remember she was still a little farther back behind me. It was definitely me leading this shit. I was like, oh, it's fine. It's haunted. It's just the decorations. but I was wrong. And I was so scared of that guy. Oh my God. Every time I passed his house for a while, I would run past his house. Like just all of a sudden, just book it past.
Oh my gosh.
I was always scared of his house. Even in high school, and I'd drive by, I'd be like, oh, that fucking guy.
He probably doesn't even know who you are at
I
all.
know.
It's like stupid kids. That's so funny. Yeah, I wonder if he redid his driveway or not.
Maybe. Or his porch.
Or his porch, sorry, yeah.
All right, Josh has ditched his mustache, guys. That thing was barely hanging on. I give it props for hanging on as long as it did.
Yeah, I mean, I've had it on all day pretty
Yeah,
much.
we just did MHP before this. So
Yes.
Yeah.
anyway, how's your pumpkin turning out, John? Is it good?
We're done. Are you guys done?
We're getting there.
Yeah.
And I'll say it looks pretty good.
Oh, shit.
I'm impressed.
All right.
Ours
I'm
isn't
pretty
too bad
excited.
either.
All right, we have a few little interesting short stories. These ones, mine are very short, but they're interesting things. Okay, so this happened in Delaware in 2005. There was this woman that used to really decorate her house, go all out for Halloween in this small area in Delaware. Anyway, one day around Halloween, she, had all these decorations, but people were driving by and they noticed there was a new decoration. It was a body hanging from a tree, which I've seen people do this. I know several neighbors that would hang bodies and, it just looks like scary Halloween stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing is this was not a fake body.
Uh-oh.
This was a real body.
Oh, no.
It was actually the woman who lived there.
Oh, no.
She decided to publicly hang herself 15 feet up above the ground, visible for all the passing vehicles for hours on a weekday morning near Halloween. And no one realized that it was a person for a while until, people couldn't get a hold of her and stuff.
Wow.
Wow.
And they were just driving by.
Wait, why did she do that? Was there any note or anything?
No,
Any
as far as I
explanation?
know, there's not even a name for this person. So I don't know exactly, it's private. But yep, it took them a few hours to figure out that she was out there. And kids passed by.
Could you imagine?
Everyone thought it was Halloween decor. I know. Isn't that pretty freaky? They said it looked like something that somebody would have rigged up.
What the hell?
Mm-hmm. And she did it publicly like that. She clearly knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
It was with the rest of her display.
Right.
But yeah, so, and her death was investigated to make sure that it was actually a suicide and wasn't a murder or
Right.
something. And they determined that it was a suicide.
Wow. That's frightening.
Yeah. So really short story.
To
but
be a neighbor of such. Wow.
I know. Pretty intense. Pretty intense.
That's scary. My story is a little bit longer and takes place back in 1936 in Tokyo. And it's about two people and their names. I'm sorry, I'm probably going to mispronounce them, but their names are Sada Abe and Kichizo Ishida.
Yeah, I don't think you got those
Or
right.
Ishida. Kichizo Ishida and Sada Abe, I believe,
Okay.
are their names. So Ishida had met Abe just 2 months before this, when actually he hired her to work as a waitress at his restaurant. And before this, Abe was actually a sex worker, but she wanted out of this. She was over it. Her parents were actually forcing her to be a geisha, and so I guess she was really over this, and she decided to work at this restaurant instead. And so Ishida was kind of starting to get a liking towards her while she was working there, and they kind of had some mutual crushes on each other. And it says that Abe fell passionately in love with Ishida. So let's go to April 23rd exactly. And Abe and Ishida decided to check into a hotel in Tokyo, and the two of them met up together to get a quick quickie in.
Ooh, a quick quickie.
Yeah, a quick quickie. But they had to be quick because Ishida had a wife to get back to. He was having an affair.
Oh, shit.
But
Bad boy.
it wasn't so fast. The afternoon turned into night, and then in the next morning, and for the next 4 days, the two of them stayed in bed and engaged in love making. So they had their nice little hotel stay, and then afterwards, Ishida returned to his wife. But apparently, Abe became very jealous and began drinking heavily. And in May, Abe purchased a kitchen knife and threatened to kill Ishida. Surprisingly, Ishida seemed more intrigued than terrified, and they actually used this knife to do sexual acts with. And Abe placed the tip of the knife on the base of Ishida's genitals, threatening to cut them off when he went back to his wife. But he was like turned on by this. Like he really liked it. And so they kind of had this weird, like they were really into violent sex, I guess you could say. And Abe seemed to have understood it was a joke, but the idea had been planted deep in her subconscious. So 2 days later, Abe strangled him again in his sleep. This time didn't stop until he was dead. So he's dead, and she's
he's dead.
Well, yeah, she literally like had such
Surprise.
rough sex that she killed him, which he, I guess before though, he was kind of like making jokes like, you should just kill me next time, and was like, you might as well just strangle me to death.
Well, did she do it on purpose?
I don't know. So I guess she said that after though, she felt totally at ease and that a heavy burden had been lifted from her shoulders and she felt a sense of clarity. So which, yeah.
Okay.
So then she had the kitchen knife and she ended up severing his genitals and wrapped them in paper to save for later. Because again, they had the knife, they were kind of into that. And so she had his genitals and then she also carved her name into his arm with a knife and then checked out of the hotel, taking the penis with her.
Okay.
So the staff soon discovered the body and was like, oh my God, what the hell is going on? And panic erupted. But meanwhile, Abe's just casually shopping in Tokyo and also decided to catch a movie. So then on May 20th, she checked into the hotel under a fake name where she spent the day writing farewell letters to her friends. And then she was planning to actually take her own life by leaping off of a mountain by the end of the week. In the meantime, though, she wanted to have sex with Ishida one more time. So she unwrapped his severed ween.
Oh, no.
And had her ways. I'm not going to go into too much detail because we don't want to. Yeah.
Is this true?
Yeah. 100% true.
But how? There's no blood in it. So how are you supposed to, I'm supposed to get happy?
Yeah, well, I think she was able to.
Josh looks like he's going to throw. Like, John looks horrified.
Are you boys scared?
Oh my God.
Don't piss us off.
You picked this episode with us. To
Yeah, that's right. I want to see you boys squirm.
I am squirming. Everything's squirming.
She said, I loved him so much, I wanted to have him all to myself.
Oh.
Yeah, but since they weren't husband and wife, they couldn't be together, I guess. So that was her option.
Oh my God, what a sick bitch she was.
I know. It's crazy.
Nasty.
So yeah, she was put on trial, but Abe asked to be executed. Actually, she wanted to just be like sentenced to death, but they only ended up giving her 6 years, and she spent 6 years and then got out.
6 years.
Yeah, 6 years.
This sounds like some injustice for this guy.
Yeah, for real.
What is going on?
She returned to work as
Seriously.
a waitress for the next 20 years. And then she kind of just like disappeared. People don't know if she's alive. Probably not because it happened a while ago. But she kind of just disappeared out of the public eye. And people don't know where she's been since.
Wow. That's interesting. I've never heard that case.
I know, neither have I. And I was pretty horrified reading it. So there you go, boys. Sleep well tonight. Happy Halloween.
To your
Not gonna sleep tonight.
Happy Halloween. All right, next story. You got one?
Wow,
for
that
us?
was quite brutal. Jesus. Let me
Josh
bring
is
it
like,
back
hold on
down
a
for a
second.
second.
I need a moment.
Do you want
All
to
right.
tell yours next?
Yeah, I'll tell.
Okay.
Mine is quite the opposite of that.
That's
one,
okay.
so-
We can have a little mixture.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good though. I think you'll find it interesting. So,
All right.
did you guys ever? Well, obviously, you have probably, but have you arcades? You like arcades?
Arcades. Yeah. Yeah, I like arcades.
I'm literally choking from this.
I know.
Joe Exotic
Just
choker.
take it off.
You and me both.
No, it's great.
All right.
Yes. No, arcades are great.
Arcades growing up.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese's. I think we all went
Oh,
there.
yeah.
you
Dave
know?
and Buster's. Let's go.
But like you've played classic like big cabinet arcade machines,
Yes.
right?
Yes, definitely.
There's bars that have them and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
we love, what is it? Level Up.
Yeah,
One Up.
exactly.
Oh,
one up. Level
Okay.
up.
Yeah.
You level up at 1 Up. That's what you do. So this story is I came across it. It's like one of the scariest urban legends for gaming. So, and when I read this, I was like, this is super interesting because there's a lot of truth to it. So in 1981 in Portland, there's Portland's a cool city. There's all kinds of like bars and there's arcades were really popular back in the 80s. So there was this one particular arcade machine that nobody knows exactly where it came from, but it's an all black cabinet machine. And it was called Plebius, P-O-L-Y-B-I-U-S, Plebius.
Interesting. Okay.
And this all black machine, apparently when anybody would go and play it, it would literally cause you to have night terrors amnesia from it, from just playing it, would cause you to experience these different things. You could become hypnotized by it completely, and it completely just like kind of took over your mind.
Whoa.
And a bunch of different people did it. And people that claim to have seen this arcade machine, Plebius, said that every couple weeks or so, men in black, like just all black suits, would come walking into the arcade just randomly and then open up the back of the machine and pull something out. Oh. But they never took the money from it. They never came to take the money. They're only taking like basically data from the back. So like some of these old arcade machines had like either rolls of paper that would actually like print different things, or it would be, I think that's exactly what it was. It was like all manual back then. So they like pull out the sheet, and it had contained some sort of data, because they would come back periodically to collect from the back of it. And meanwhile, all these people are actually experiencing these health issues after playing this arcade machine. Wow. And this is true. Like there's actual newspaper articles that talk about kids having to like get serious medical treatment for psychological issues because of this arcade machine.
Wow.
So it wasn't like a brand of machine and they had them all over the place. It was one specific machine.
Right. Whoa, in one specific location. Yeah. Or I think it was in the Portland area. It might've been multiple in the Portland area, but it was a specific machine called Plebius. It's the only one.
Plebius.
Yeah. So this machine, eventually they, looking back at this now, it just kind of legend went on that this machine was around and this was all happening, but then literally it just disappeared, like completely vanished.
So
the machine vanished?
Yeah, the game was completely lost. It was completely wiped from all records of it. Of it ever existing, basically.
Wow, that's weird. And I wonder if there were multiple...
Well, it's one of those things where it was actually, there was the machine that was causing the issues was named something else. Okay. Like it changed. Somehow it changed from Plebius to something else. Or maybe it was something else altogether. But somebody was like, well, this can't be. What kind of machine is this that it could do this to you? And so recently, somebody actually recreated the machine, and it full on hypnotizes you. It's really, it's really trippy. Yeah, it's called Polyplay. And they built it based on this other machine, Plebius. They're like, if Plebius existed, then this is our version of it.
So is the Polyplay like available to the public?
I think they just literally just built it. It might be in Portland. I'm not sure
That's
if anybody in Portland knows, but you go and you can play this machine and it literally plays mind games. So a lot of people think though with Plebius that Plebius was actually part of MK Ultra. That they were, there's actually been proven record that the government uses video games as data for them. And they have for a very long time for arcade machines, because it gathers information about the user.
Now, that's a conspiracy. I mean, it makes sense. We think that they put these things into TV shows, and
subliminal messaging,
music
and all that,
and stuff like that. Why wouldn't they just put a game straight up? And maybe it has some type of device that's recording people's reactions, and it's kind of like a test. A secret experiment.
Well, think about how smart that would be. That's such a great way to get a lot of user data.
Absolutely.
Like, really quickly. Really that's real and authentic. And if you could build it through a game, then and I mean, it made the people that played Plebius, like it fucked them up. Like
really?
Yeah. Like you could experience amnesia after it.
Oh, wow.
People had fits of amnesia. They had frequent night terrors, paralysis, everything. Whatever it did, it was like extracting information from your brain, but also also like kind of putting you in a tailspin where you're kind of like, whoa, what's going on? I got to like bring it back to reality.
Was this? Did you know?
1981.
So in the 80s.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then MK Ultra was 60s to 70s, and then
that would make sense.
Yeah. So. It's like
Are there any records out there of like people using this machine?
Not Plebius though. That's the thing, is that the name Plebius has been searched all the way through because like,
damn, that's like some Bernstein Bear shit.
It's not there, but there was another arcade machine that was causing these issues, health issues for people, and it's recorded.
So crazy.
And the arcade machines was being pulled from by the government for information.
Wow.
Because you'd think if there's one, there's probably more than one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So I just wonder if there's any accounts of actual people that claim they've used one.
In Portland, for sure, there's probably more in the rest of the country.
Sure.
Wow.
Yeah. I bet there's tons of instances where
is it just that game specifically, or can any game become.
Well, no,
this.
because this one is more than others because it was the point of it was to you look into the screen and you immediately are you're going into that hypnotized mode, and then they're gonna start fucking with you and pulling shit from you.
Interesting.
That is so bizarre.
Plebius.
This is sponsored by Plebius.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
That really is.
No, it's just a weird, freaky. Like you never think of like gaming to have anything freaky with it. And
No.
meanwhile, you're really questioning all the games you play. Like, what is this really trying to get me to do, or what's it trying to tell me?
That's such a good point. Subliminal messaging in general is so interesting. Like we should do a whole episode on that.
We should do some conspiracy episodes.
Yeah, some stuff like
Some
that.
stuff that's not serious enough for a whole Mile Higher episode. Not that subliminal messaging isn't, but I think we could definitely cover some conspiracies on the show. Let us know if you guys would like to see that. Do you have another story?
Nope, that was my only story.
Okay, I have one more.
Okay.
It's a little baby one. Okay.
All right, let's hear it.
So this is just a crazy little thing that happened back in 2012 in Pennsylvania in New Sewickley, which is western Pennsylvania near the Ohio border.
Okay.
So there was a family Halloween party going on, and there was this little girl that was there, and she decided that year that she wanted to be a skunk. They were kind of out in a like naturey backyard, like it backed up to a big forest kind of thing, like a wooded area. And she was playing over near that area, and she was spotted by a relative. And about 8:30 p.m., thinking that she was a real skunk, they shot her at the Halloween party. Yeah. So this girl has not been released to the public who she is or anything. And like I said, this is like 8 years ago, but they didn't mention the shooter's name or the relationship to the shooter because I guess they were all very upset and it was an accident. But a lot of people are like, how can that possibly be an accident?
Literally, how can that be?
She's 9. It's not like she's a little baby.
Yeah. What the hell?
I know. And she survived this. I should make that clear.
she did?
They brought her to the hospital and she
wonderful.
did survive.
That's good.
But
Jesus, that's
apparently this
crazy.
person had not even been drinking alcohol. Just one of her
How
relatives
good was
literally
her
thought it was a
costume?
skunk.
I'm sorry. How good was your costume to look like that?
And it's like, why would you whip out a gun just at a Halloween party? It seems kind of weird to be like, oh, I need to shoot this skunk. Why do you even need to shoot a skunk? It's not like it's a bear. Not that you shoot a bear either, but you know, like what is a skunk going to do to you? Break into your car and steal all your shit? What are you worried about?
No, it's
So
so true.
A lot of people think that it was on purpose, that maybe they wanted to.
What the fuck? Why?
Oh, no.
That's
I know.
crazy.
I know. Did you just ruin our pumpkin,
Oh
Josh?
no.
Josh! I can't believe you just did that. This is, you guys, I can't even. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what we're doing now. We tried to make an alien.
So upset right now. I didn't mean to do that.
Why'd you do that?
I was trying to make it bigger.
So I made Josh a outline for this alien, and I made 4 separate lines. And I told him before we start, make sure you make them 4 separate lines and you don't connect them, or else the whole thing is going to turn into, it's just going to be a giant circle. And guess what he did? The whole thing is a giant circle. He did exactly what I thought.
You know,
Good job,
sometimes.
But here's
It
what we're
just
going to do.
happens
We're
to
just
you.
going to hang him in there, and he's just
toothpick?
going to sit in there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have a toothpick.
You could go get a
Or-
toothpick from in the house.
All right, so now we are going to go ahead and tell some spooky stories from you guys. This first one is from Claudia, and she's from Poland, actually, so it's pretty cool. Thanks for listening, Claudia, and sending in your spooky story. This one's pretty good.
Poland in the house.
Yes. All right, so she says, my great-grandmother died in 1999 at the age of 99 years old. She had lived through 2 wars and had seen unimaginable horrors in her life, and her husband, my great-grandfather, died in a Nazi camp in Auschwitz. So when he was taken, the Nazis raided their house and took all their possessions. So when my great-grandmother died, I was 7 years old, and I used to spend a lot of time in my grandparents' house. A few days after the funeral, we went to church again to attend a mass in her memory. When we came back to the house, we saw that a deer antler mantle, so I guess, you know, something that kind of hangs on a wall, was laying flat on a glass table. The table wasn't broken, not even scratched. The antlers were just sitting there like somebody had put them there, but the house was empty while we were out. That same night, when we were watching TV, when we heard the curtains being drawn, those old type of curtains that make a lot of noise in the kitchen, you know, that type of like crinkly curtains. So when we went to see, the curtains were open and a little porch light outside was on, but my grandparents swore that they had left it off. A few days later, my aunt, who was also my great-grandmother's relative, said that every morning since the funeral, she had seen footprints in the snow leading directly from her back door out into the garden, but nobody left the house through that door, and she hadn't heard anybody lurking around. My grandfather just brushed it off because he didn't believe in that kind of stuff. Claudia says that her grandmother believes that it was her great-grandmother still looking for her husband who was killed in Auschwitz, and that all of her possessions were taken by the Nazis. And so she thinks that it was the great-grandmother coming back into her house and trying to like look for her possessions, because like the skull was removed off the wall and like placed perfectly on the table, and
Interesting.
like there were footprints up to the house. So very interesting.
Very
Thank you
well
for sharing
could
that.
be. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, this next one is from Bria. So she says it was younger, but she remembers it like it happened yesterday. So she had gone into the kitchen at her grandmother's house to grab some ice cream. She started nonchalantly scooping my ice cream at the kitchen counter, then suddenly got the feeling as though I was being watched from behind. I happened to look behind me, back towards the fridge, to see an old woman with her hair pulled back in a bun, a quarter-length sleeve dress on that reached her calves, and it also looked like she had on a cooking apron. She was giving me this horrible, awful scowl, and I immediately felt like that was her kitchen and I shouldn't have been there. Her fists were kind of balled up, and she immediately charged at me. I got a huge lump in my throat, my heart started beating out of my chest, and my stomach was in knots. I turned my head quickly away from her, shielding my presence, and I continued scooping ice cream, but a bit quicker to get out of there. I wasn't leaving the ice cream behind. I love that part. So then it says, the fact that I didn't run still surprises me to this day, but I think I might have been frozen and, too scared to move.
Just paralyzed in fear.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I feel like you're always like, as you see in movies, like run, get out of there. But I feel like when you're that scared, sometimes you literally do just get paralyzed in your steps and you can't even think to move.
You're like, this isn't happening. This isn't happening. This isn't happening.
Exactly. So she said, I wound up telling my grandmother about my terrifying experience the next day, and she told me that my description sounded like the woman who had owned the house before them. Flash forward to about a year ago, my mom and grandmother were going through old photos and came across a photo of the old owner of that house. My mom texted me the photo, and there she was. She had that same damn scowl and terrifying face in the picture she had when I saw her. I also got the same lump in my throat, not in my stomach, and when I opened the text. It was so insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Isn't that so creepy?
That really is.
I know. Creepy. And this is actually from a submitter who has an Instagram. It looks like she does really intricate eye makeup. So her Instagram is the Bria Beauty. So I'll put it on the on the screen here. But yeah, the Bria Beauty. But she has really cool looks. If you guys want to see like some of this Halloween, she does like Halloween looks and stuff, and they're pretty unbelievable.
I don't know, Janelle. Yours is pretty good.
No, mine is crap compared to hers. You should see some of hers. It's like seriously amazing. I looked them up earlier.
That
like,
was
damn.
Sarcasm. But
Sarcasm? That was sarcasm?
Sarcasm.
Yeah, thanks. Well, you're not saying I look as good as her? Okay, fine.
No, but your makeup does look fire today.
Thanks.
Good work.
Thank you. Yeah, I had to like really go overboard for the, cat look, if you will. All right, so this next one is from Laura Brown, and it's about... I guess she had moved into a big house in a little village. Her sister was in the kitchen and asked for a pan, and one of them literally fell out of the underside of the staircase. I guess they like kept them up there, and it was during some renovations, so the wood was like uncovered, but one of them literally fell as soon as she asked for a pan in the kitchen.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's so creepy. Why
Dude,
has nothing
right?
like this ever happened to me? I want to have an experience that's like this, like something moving or...
I know.
Yeah.
I've never experienced anything that cool except for that one girl, but I didn't really think that was that scary, honestly.
Lately, we've had some issues in our house, in our studio too. Josh is convinced that the studio is haunted. Tell him.
Trying to do my surgery over here right now.
Oh yeah, trying to fix the pumpkin.
That's not going well.
But tell them how we've had issues in the studio.
No, we really have. Your camera, Josh, is always...
It's always shaking. Like,
Sometimes it just
always
bugs
blurry.
out. Some of you guys may have even noticed it. Last week, I know there was a moment where the camera like jumped for a second. You noticed it too when you were recording, Sydney, right? Yeah, the camera like jumped back and forth on Janelle.
So the camera just randomly wigs out, and I guess it could just be the camera's messed up for some reason. But I mean, I've like rebooted it, reset it. There's nothing physically wrong with it. So there's nothing, I think, that is technically wrong with it.
And some days
so.
it works fine.
Yeah,
That's the thing, is it's not all the time. Like some episodes, it acts up so bad.
Yeah,
Like we were
more so
recording
than
one like
others.
a week or so ago, and it was insane. I kept having to go up and like try and refocus it because it was just like going like going in and out. But then some episodes is totally fine. It's so weird.
Yeah. We experience a lot of like static noise in here too, like through the headphones. And
So much.
And I've literally replaced every cable probably like 3 or 4 times by now. And those cables should never have to be replaced. I mean, as long as it doesn't have like physical damage, which they don't. And yeah, we just hear random like hissing and I mean, there's reasons for it most of the time, but sometimes it's just like, what the hell? I'm like racking my head against the wall because I'm like, why is there so many weird little technical issues in here all the time?
Yeah, it's strange.
And like, I know on a few of my videos on Lights Out, where I usually sit on this side of the table facing this corner of the room, people have pointed out like timestamps of where they've seen little like orbs floating around behind me. And kind of coming out of that light right there. So like it literally like you can see it. Like I was like, no way. And I went and like looked at the timestamp. I was like, oh shit, there is something kind of like floating across. I mean, do you ever see anything just floating around in here?
No,
Like,
I never see anything.
other than flies and moths. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say other than flies and moths. But no, I've never really seen anything like that. But it's just that damn camera is always just like having trouble focusing on you. I'm always like, Josh, sit still. You're like, I'm not moving. I'm like, it's crazy.
It's so weird. And then the other thing that has been happening in our house is I have been filming my Halloween videos for my channel. And every night I light a bunch of candles behind me. And the first, or it was like maybe the second video I was filming, I remember blowing them all out. And the next morning we woke up and there was still a candle on. And Josh was like, babe, why'd you leave a candle on? And I was like, damn, I must have been like really tired or something. I have been filming really, really late. So I thought maybe I just forgot and I left a candle on all night. But then it happened again the next night. And after that, I made sure I blew them out. Like, cause the first night, so I was like, I blew them all out. I looked, made sure there was no like embers or anything. I just thought that I had gotten it. I know that I had. And then we woke up and it was on again.
Dude, I remember.
Different candle.
Yeah, and
I
I'm
was
like,
there
that's
when
crazy.
you figured that out. And you
Yeah.
were like, wait a fucking second.
I was freaking out.
You said that you even turned off all the lights in that room and like
Yes.
turned around and you said the whole room was dark.
The whole room was dark. I would have noticed if I left one candle
Yeah.
on
Oh,
after all of them.
pretty
I would have
evident.
too.
So yeah, after it happened twice, I thought,
And the fact
maybe
that it's
something-
a different candle, you can't be like, oh, it's just a weird like wick that keeps, relighting.
that's what I thought, but it was a separate candle,
that's
different brand.
so weird.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. So
And our TV's randomly coming on. Like I'll just
Oh,
walk
yeah, last
downstairs.
night.
TV will be on playing something. And I'm
Yours
like,
does that all the time. That's happened when I've babysat like your dogs
yeah.
before too.
And like last
Yeah.
night was a great test because I 100,000,000% know that I hit the sleep timer on the TV, which should shut it off and it should stay off, right? And it did. It shut off, but then it came on again at some point, and she said it was like on CNN or something and just
yeah,
playing. And
it
I
was
was
the
like,
news. All of a sudden they were talking about Trump
But
at like 4 a.m, but it was dark at like 2 a.m. because I get up like 5 times to pee every night.
and we do this
so
all the
weird.
time, and it works like
Yeah.
a lot of the times. But
Yeah,
last night,
Is that
for-
in your room?
Yeah.
What about the TV that flew off the wall?
that was in our room too. I forgot about that. Yep.
Yeah, like right
Oh,
when you guys
yeah.
moved in.
Yeah.
Oh, that really
we
bothers
did. We
me.
talked about that on Mile Higher too last year.
Wasn't that in like the middle of the night?
It just like,
Was it in the middle of the night? Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It was.
it was-
Oh yeah. Wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It just fell off of the wall.
Which is weird because
Yeah.
if you set it somewhere, usually you'd think it's pretty.
Well, it was on a mantle, so it
It
wasn't
was
like.
leaning on a mantle because we didn't have like an actual mount for it yet. So
But
But
still, the fact
nothing
that
was
it had
touching
been
it.
there for like
was fine
hours
for-
and it was
yeah.
fine, or days,
Yeah.
and then
Days,
days,
and then just fell
all of a
off.
sudden it was just like, nah.
Yep.
I just picture like, Paranormal Activity, the movie, and like, you got that night cam and all of a sudden the TV just like falls
Oh
to
my
the
God, I
ground,
hate
crashes.
thinking about
Yeah.
that so
And
much.
you're
I
like,
really fucking hate that.
Yeah,
that
me
was
too.
weird. That's not,
You're just kind of like,
unless our whole house shook
right.
for a second.
Well, we
and-
don't get earthquakes in Colorado. So what the fuck?
I don't know. Yeah, that's really. I'm starting to think maybe we do have some haunting going on, but I feel like whatever it is, it's a friendly ghost.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% think it's friendly, but well,
Pull out your heat sensor.
yeah, I mean, maybe.
Hopefully,
maybe
it doesn't
not.
light a candle and then the house catching on fire. 'cause I'll be
That's what
by
I'm
it.
worried about. Is that
Knock
it might
on
be-
wood.
Please don't do that.
Yeah, please do not. Let's show her.
Okay, time to reveal the pumpkins.
Wait,
Yes.
do you have a lighter or
Sydney,
do I
will you
have
hit
to
the lights?
These lights?
Do the final reveal.
The final reveal. All right. So Josh and I went for a Mile Higher themed pumpkin. We made an alien face, and like I said earlier, he didn't turn out too well. But we were able to save it, so it's not just a big circle. We were able to use a toothpick and keep his head on the pumpkin. So here he is. We've got some MHP up top. Very good. We've got the alien face.
Yeah,
and then not only that, we've got 2 stars on either side for a little galaxy action. Yeah, grade A. All right, let's see what you guys whipped up.
We whipped up something inspiring, if you will.
Inspiring.
'Tis the season.
'Tis the season.
Yes, I love that.
Cast your motherfucking votes, people. If you're listening, my pumpkin says vote with a creepy face in the V.
That is good.
So
I like
please vote.
I don't know. I might like that better than ours. Yes.
No way.
If for some reason you are not registered to vote, we will link a thing down below so you can double check that you are ready to cast your vote. If you haven't already, maybe you already have. Lots of people have already voted, which if so,
Get it in early.
excellent work.
Bravo, bravo.
Yeah, let us know what pumpkin you guys like best.
Yes, be sure to vote in
The poll.
vote as well in our poll.
Yes, vote as well in our poll. But more importantly, vote in the election, okay?
Yes, please vote in the election. Okay, well, that is going to do it for today's sesh.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us for our spooky sesh. I hope you guys like this one. This is our last Halloween episode of the year for Mile Higher and for the sesh, as far as us recording right now.
Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. And there's still time to enter the little contest that we have going on as far as human costumes and animal costumes and your own pumpkin carvings. That's going on until Halloween. So make sure that you get your submissions in using hashtag. See, I can't do it. Hashtag spooky sesh.
Hashtag
too many
spooky
S's. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Boys, thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Joe
tell
Exotic,
us-
thank you.
Tell us what else you guys want to see the guys in.
Yes.
We definitely want to do some like
What
game
is this, a
shows
show now?
and some relationship advice. Yeah, you guys got to come on it.
All right.
Every once in a while. you
What
gotta
else
pop
did
on.
I
things
dress
to
up
talk
as? Let's.
No, there will be no more dressing up.
Josh says, I need to be dressed up every
Maybe you can be
single
an
time.
elf for Halloween. Okay,
There you
How's
go.
that?
Elf
I mean,
for
for
Halloween.
Christmas.
No, I'm motherfucking Santa, man.
Santa. Okay.
Santa's coming.
I'm
to
coming
town.
on the sesh, full Santa suit. Get ready.
Oh my God.
Before we go, I also wanted to shout out my friend Jessica Abella, who made this adorable little ghost for me and Janelle to have in our sesh background.
It's adorable.
It's so cute. I will definitely keep him for next year. I just got him a few days ago. But she actually makes these out of resin, and she's very, very talented. We also have a clock from her. She's really good. So check out her Etsy shop. I just wanted to give her a little shout out, and thank you, Jessica, for the little ghost guy. He's super cute.
Yes, we greatly appreciate it. Thanks, guys, for joining us on our Halloween Palooza. We really appreciate it. Halloween Palooza. Also, if you guys have a second, hop on to Apple Podcasts and Spotify to give us a review or subscribe and follow. It really helps us out, and we appreciate
Helps
a lot. Helps a lot. But that's it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you on the next sesh. But until then,
keep it fresh.